buddy.
Better than me. Fire code won't allow one more. You have to watch it on the big screen.
Suits me, kid.
What I'm gonna do. You gonna sit on the aisle then and see when you get up?
Yeah, I think that one's permanent.
We've all been through, this will be hard to get up. We've all been through a lot together. As we say, we're not just a museum, we're a family. The staff is a family, our volunteers are a family. We've all been together so long. The three of us, Mr. Cox is not only a boss, he's a father, he's a grandfather, he's a friend. We've been through 3 weddings, 1 divorce, and 5.5 children. The day that he told us that he was retiring, it's kind of ironic. Krista was cleaning, as she does when she's frustrated.
I'll get a lot more done soon.
Yeah.
No one puts stuff in
But
my
she
way.
came across something in a file that was written by Mr. Bill Kinney, who is another person that was very instrumental and gracious and supportive of the museum and the staff. And at this time, she would like to read that, and then we will start with our program.
The title of the article was Dan Cox Will Be Missed. And it made me wonder if Mr. King really led me to that article. And it was about when Dan was leaving city council. And in it was a poem. And I don't know if you remember that poem, sir, that you shared with everybody, but I'm going to share it right now. It's called Little Rock. Do you remember it? If you want to say it with me, you're more than welcome.
I'll say it if you want me to. It's something Mother
Yes, please.
always said. She said she wished she were a little rock just sitting on a hill, doing nothing all day long but just sitting still. She wouldn't eat, she wouldn't sleep, she wouldn't even wash. She'd sit 1,000 years and rest herself, but gosh.
So today, I think you should follow that poem, because 22 years ago you did not. I would say sit back, possibly relax, because I don't know what people are going to say today. Enjoy these wonderful stories about the wonderful work you've done, not only for Marietta, but the museum as well.
I'm Dan Matthews. I've been Dan's minister over the First Methodist Church for 13 years. Dan, that's 650 sermons, and I think Dan has heard 640 of them. He's regular in his attendance. He always stands when I walk by. He honors my position. I asked Dan what he plans to do in his retirement, and he said, well, I've made a list of some things, and I said, well, share it with me. So I have his list of top 10 things Dan is going to do in retirement. But you know, Danny goes the extra mile. There are 15 items listed here. Top 15 things Dan Cox will do in retirement. Number 15, he's going to laugh hilariously as Jan and the rest of the staff try to figure out which museum visitors go to which bathroom.
I was a history major in college. I love history and still do. The great thing about Dan is, and we talk about this from time to time, is not what is known in his museum. The most interesting things are the ones that are not in the museum that we don't talk about. And Dan knows every story, or as we used to say in politics, every body that is buried in the county. We know he knows who is kin to who ran around with who, and who would pay you and who wouldn't.
Yeah, not everybody gets a send-off like this. This is quite commendable. The community appropriately paying tribute to you like this. Down in South Louisiana, there was a Catholic priest that just had his 10th year anniversary there. The town had a big gala for that dinner celebrating his 10th year. The mayor was going to bring a special address that night, but the mayor got hung up in traffic and didn't get there on time. So the master of ceremony changed the order of service and let the priest go first. And the priest said, when I first came to this community, I wondered what kind of community I've come to, because the very first confession I heard was from an individual who confessed sins that I'd never heard of, acknowledged a number of crimes, and implicated himself in a great deal of the underworld activities around here. The very first confessant did so, and I wondered, is that this community? But now I've been here a while, I've come to know you, and you're good people. Well, he finished his address, and the mayor came in, and the mayor said, apologize for being late tonight. You may not know how close I am to our priest, but I was the first person. We gave you an empty room, and you filled our hearts with memories and memorabilia. And for all that, thank you, Dan Cox. Thank you.
Johnny Walker, I serve on the Marietta City Council Ward 3, and I was feeling kind of good about Dan's retirement, and had some nice words to say until I looked up there and saw that re-elect Dan Cox. Dan, I would like to personally thank you for your dedication in preserving the history of our great city. You have done a fantastic job in all aspects of the museum, educating our young people, sharing our past with thousands of people from all over our country and world. You will be missed by all, but we know you are just around the corner if we need you. Enjoy your retirement that you so much deserve. I also want to thank you for your advice and wisdom you have provided me in the past. Your friendship has and will continue to be very important to me. Dan Cox, trustee of our history, founder of Marietta Museum of History. Colonel Dan Cox, aide-de-camp, Marietta's Home Guard. Dan, as you retire from your official position as director of the Marietta Museum of History and unofficially as the trustee of the history and heritage of the city of Marietta, I, on behalf of the citizens, staff, and council of the city of Marietta, congratulate you for your outstanding service, living history, appreciation, and love for our city and its history since 1834. You preserved and brought forward our foundation and heritage, which is your legacy. Today, the Remember When Club recognizes and celebrates Dan Cox with his many contributions to our way of life in Marietta, today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Oh, what memories you have created as a student in the Marietta school system, growing up on Wright Street, a businessman on the square, raising a family in Marietta, founder of the Marietta Museum of History with an initial staff of 1, perpetuating the Aviation Museum and numerous awards of all kinds. For the lives that you have touched and the memories and history you have preserved, please accept Key to the City, recognizing the doors that you have unlocked in preserving the history of Marietta in an extraordinary way.
It's been a good run. I still have a good run in front of me, but I get far too much credit. I happen to facilitate what the city people, the citizens of Marietta, had allowed me to do. It was a labor of love. If it hadn't been for the citizens of Marietta, we wouldn't be there. You've been very generous and kind to us. I don't know who wrote this, but I think it fits. At birth, we boarded the train and met our parents, and we believed they will always travel on our side. However, at some station, our parents will step down from the train, leaving us on the journey alone. As time goes by, other people will board the train. They will be significant, our siblings, our friends, our children, even the love of our life. Many will step down and leave a permanent vacuum. This train ride will be full of joy, sorrow, fantasy, expectations, hellos, goodbyes, and farewells. Success consists of having a good relationship with all the passengers, requiring that we give the best of ourselves. The mystery to everyone is we don't know at what station we ourselves will step down. So we must live in the best way, love, forgive, and offer the best of who we are.